Hi crafters, it's Dawn with stampingwithdawn.com. Let me see, I think I got everything going. It took a little bit this morning, so I do apologize for being a minute or two late here. I had planned to do at 9 o'clock and just didn't happen. Hubs and the boy are both at home, and of course my family overslept, so they were both running out the door trying to get ready. It's just comedy of errors, right? So I'm pulling up my cell phone here to make sure I can see what's going on. Okay, so did you guys see yesterday Paper Pumpkin, which you guys know is part of Stampin' Up? Paper Pumpkin did every month they do this with alternates. Well, this month for the June kit, which I have mine right here, and I've got it kind of open, so let me close that up so I can show you. The June kit, which is called Expressions in Color, and I know you're getting a little bit of glare. My lighting's off. I'm not used to doing this during the daytime anymore. So this is the kit, the Paper Pumpkin. Well, goodness, let's see if I can do it that way. And I had my camera plugged in. It just, anybody who ever thinks they can't do Facebook Live, tune into this one because this will show you anybody can do Facebook Live. Okay, so let me make sure this is showing up in here. There we go. Yep, there. I've got to turn down the volume there. Alrighty, so, and let me get that on silent so no calls come through. All right, the front door is open because the dog being by himself, you guys know we got the dog last year during COVID, so he's a COVID puppy. He's hardly ever left alone. So the front door is open. So if the mail happens to come up or you hear him barking, it's because, you know, there's a squirrel running across, you know, those horribly felonious squirrels that are in the front yard. So I hope you guys appreciate that as well. But yesterday, Paper Pumpkin, Andrew, he's the one in charge of Paper Pumpkin, he did it, and I don't know if you saw, he had like shoulder surgery, so his two beautiful daughters were helping him. Well, I had sent in some of the stuff, and they used a couple of them. So I wanted to show you what they look like. And then at the very end, because everybody seemed to like several of the cards. They liked the bumblebee one. They liked the green one. There were several comments about the pink ones, all of that kind of stuff. But they didn't show all of them. They had them all displayed, but they didn't hold each one of them up for you to see. So what I'm going to do is actually hold each one of them up for you to see. And then at the very end, this was one of the things that we did, was this little notebook. Yeah, sorry, I know. I have to adjust the lighting when I have to do the morning. Yeah. So this is the notebook one. And this one seemed to be the most popular of all of them. So I'm actually going to show you how to make it. And you want to hear something funny? I buy notebooks. I don't want to say by the gross, okay? I don't buy them by the gross, but I do buy dozens upon dozens upon dozens at a time. That's how I do it, because I do craft shows, I do events, I do retreats, I do monthly card classes, I do all kinds of things. So I'll buy a dozen at a time, sometimes 2 dozen at a time. Well, apparently this notebook, I am no longer having them. I thought I had more of them, but they weren't in my stash. So I had a different notebook. So you're actually going to get to see how I change up the dimensions so you can make it so your notebook fits. That's the easiest way to do this. So, alrighty, without further ado, let me make sure this is all. Okay. So what I'm going to do, the screen is going to black out for just a brief moment while I transfer it here to the hands portion so that you can see that. So do not worry, you'll still hear my voice. I'm just going to chat for a minute. See, there's the dog chatting. Yep, there you go. And there. Okay. So now that you're here, oh my goodness. So this is the notebook right here. But before we start on that, I am going to show you what the oh, it's the mailman. I can hear the muffler on the mail. This is what I'm going to show you how to make at the very, very end. And I will give you dimensions, and I will also show you, because you guys know I do a written PDF tutorial for my, I call them the pumpkin ears for paper pumpkin. Oh my goodness. Always happens, right? This is what happens when you work from home. It just is. This is one of the pages of my paper pumpkin alternates. I show a photo here, I list their supplies in here, and then along in here I give them the directions on how to do this. Come here. Alrighty, so I show them and I give them all the directions. It is written out, and then the very next page has a close-up of how it's done. So with this, what I'm going to do is, okay, it looks like, oh, I hope I'm still on. Okay, it just froze on me. Well, I'll keep continuing and hope and pray that this works. All right, so this is how it looks. You can see that's the photo, and here it is. This is the reel, and here's the photo. This is how I do my paper pumpkin alternates. The paper pumpkin tutorial is available for $20, $20, and it includes typically 10 different projects or different ideas, using your paper pumpkin kit as well as additional supplies to go along with it. So we're going to show those off. Again, though, they are $20 for the tutorial. The only thing I do want to tell you, to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, it's only about $25, $26 with your shipping and your tax. It's a much better deal for you to go ahead and get your Paper Pumpkin subscription through me. That way then you get that for free. That's the easiest way to do it. It's just the easiest way to do it. I don't know how else to say that. Okay, so let me see if I can do this really quickly. And, all right, make sure this is sharing in here. There we go. Okay, so the Paper Pumpkin kit looks like this. This is how the box came. And guys, although it's a really cool box, just remember, it's not the box that we care about. What we care about is on the inside. Actually, when I take these to craft shows, even if it has a pretty box like this, they don't sell until I take them out. The people that buy the box, that buy the paper pumpkin kits, they don't care what the box looks like. So that's what's kind of fun about it. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and just so that you do know, here on the side it tells what it is, and it's expressions in color, and it's in color because we're using the in colors. You got two different stamp pads, two little Stampin' spots. That is the Evening Evergreen and the Bumblebee, which are both in colors. So when you open it up, and I've already used all of mine, so you're actually going to get to see my supplies. Let me just go and pull those up. Okay. So here is the stamp set that comes with it, and I don't know that you can see that, so let me flip this over. So this is the stamp set that comes with it. So you do have a stamp set as well as the Stampin' Spots with it, and it comes, your initial paper pumpkin comes with a small acrylic block. Now, I'm a demonstrator, guys. I've got everything here, so I'm actually going to use one of my glass blocks that I have here. But this is the stamp set that you're going to use. We're going to set that aside. And then the two colors that I'm going to use today is Fresh Freesia and Blackberry Bliss. And I'll show you how I'm going to use those in a little bit. So would you like to see the alternates that we made? All right. Now again, if you are part of my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, you've already seen this because you've already received the Paper Pumpkin tutorial. All right, so let's see. This was the first one that they showed yesterday during the Facebook Live with Paper Pumpkin. And on this, guys, I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to go ahead and take these out of these. This one here uses the Bumblebee cardstock, and then we use the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper, the Specialty Designer Series paper. Guys, that paper currently is on back order, but it's due in, I think it's within the next week or so. So no worries on that. You can still go ahead and get everything ready. And then I used a strip of the Bumblebee here. This is, I believe, Evening Evergreen and Pear Pizzazz were the two colors that I used here. and then I added the gold gilded gems onto that. And then here is the elegant trim. I just made a small bow. That's what we're using for the retreat this month. So I wanted to use it because I had it out and I'd been playing with it. So, and here, if you can see this, I'm going to try to come in a little bit. You can see there's a yellow in the background. On that, what that is the bumblebee ink that has been stamped off. So what you do is you stamp it onto your white paper and then you stamp it onto here. And then you stamp the flower image with the evening evergreen. It's like a two-step stamp and it's the coolest thing ever. And then I have a little congratulations. So that was card 1 that they showed yesterday. And I think this was the next card that they showed. Now I changed mine up because I sent them the sample. So they had to have that one. Well, I wanted to change it up a little bit. On this, I stamped the happy birthday on a piece of vellum using Versamark, and then I used the white embossing powder onto it, which is part of the basics embossing powders. And they've retooled those. We've had embossing powders for years, but they've retooled them. So you get the basics, which I know has black and white, and I'm forgetting what the other color is that's inside of it, but you're getting packages of 3. So I did that on a small piece of vellum. And then if you can see here, I stamped that image on this beautiful designer series paper. Again, same paper package. And can you guys see the gold veining through that? Isn't that so pretty? Well, what I did was, this is the thanks that came with the stamp set. So I did that in the thanks. And then the stamp set, which is the Artistically Ink, which is the coordinating one, what I did was I also did it here on vellum. Again, Versamark with the white embossing powder onto that. And then what I did was I fussy cut. So you can do this any way that you want, because the stamp that was in the die cut that was part of the kit was a much larger thanks, like this in the script. It was really pretty, but you only got 3 of them. Well, I wanted to replicate that, so I did it like this, and then you just fussy cut that and then you can put it on. So that was the second card that they showed that I did yesterday, and I think this was the third, and I might have these in out of order because I only saw it last night on the replay. This one, this is the easiest. This one is so stinking easy how you do this. This is the Pale Papaya is the card base, and then I took that beautiful paper that has the gold accents. And guys, this designer series paper, there's one that looks similar to it without the gold accents and one that has the gold accents. Either one of them are absolutely beautiful. And then if you can see here, this is the vellum die cut. Let me see if I can bring that. If you can see the vellum die cut out of the Artistically Inked bundle. So I used vellum and I just put that on there, used a little bit of shimmery white, and then these little embellishments on here, those are the new in color jewels. So these are just so pretty. And then this one, and I forget what he called it. He called it like a window. I just took the rectangular postage punch and I punched out 4 pieces of that exact same paper. And then here on this, on the white, and this is, I believe, the polished pink, I think is this one. Yeah, I think this one's the polished pink. I put a piece of white onto it, but before I did, I used that greenery embossing folder, those 2 mini embossing folders that we have. And for those of you that have played with it, you know our embossing folders do not cover, those minis, they don't cover the whole piece, because this white piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. It doesn't cover the whole piece. Well, here's a little thing for how to fix this. You do part of it here, because that is wide enough to do the mini, and then you do the mini on this side, and then do you see this Pale Papaya piece here? I went ahead and I embossed that little 1/2 inch piece so it covered up the seam where it did not meet. That is how you use those little minis on a full-size card. It's wonderful. And then I did also grab hold of some of the ephemera, which I know also was on back order, and if it's not yet available, it's due pretty soon. And I put one of the leaves, I actually cut one of the leaf things apart. I put 2 here and 1 here. And then this piece here, the stop sign, was actually the part you were supposed to throw away. It's not that real pretty double frame, Well, it was too pretty to throw away, so I put it there. And then in here I stamped the "You Are Amazing," and then I put the 3 pink flowers onto it. And then this is the pale papaya and white woven ribbon. So be aware, it does fray a little. That's okay. It just adds to it. Oh, my friend Pam is on. Hello, Miss Pam. And then I just added that with a glue dot. So that is this one. And then on the inside, I did stamp the inside, again, using the artistically inked stamp set, which is the coordinating stamp set. So I just put those flowers in there. I usually try to stamp on the inside of each of my cards. Doesn't always happen, but I do try to do that. Just so that you do know, you want to always make sure that your cards look pretty, especially if you're giving them as a gift. So that was card 4. Then the other ones that I had also sent in that I do not believe they used were this one, which I believe is the Magenta Madness. And this is the oval, the dual oval punches. I just punched that out of the same color. And then I punched the small oval using, again, that beautiful paper. And then down here, this is the 2020 to 2022 square in color gems. And on theirs, I just did sending hugs. Well, on this one, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a sending many hugs. And if you can see here on this white piece, I only embossed about a third of it. Yeah, let's go with a third of that pretty flowers embossing folder. And then this is the gold shimmer ribbon that we've had for several years, and they brought it back because it had been only available with a specialty 1 month, 2 month order type thing. And it's so pretty. So I just tied a bow and then wrapped that around onto it. So that's what this one was. And again, if you watch the paper pumpkin video, instead of having the oval straight up like that, I canted them at a slight angle. So it just gave a little bit different look to it. And then this one, this was my favorite. I know, every single one is always my favorite. This one, you're going to use the basic white thick designer series paper for your card base, okay? And then, you guys, this is so cute. This stamp right here, which is that little splotch, that little blob thing, I thought it looked like a cloud. So what I did, this is balmy blue. I put a piece of balmy blue behind it. And then on the white piece, I just stamped some of the balmy blue onto it. So it looked like it was clouds. And then I just got those new border basic dies, the ones that like go on the envelopes and stuff. Oh my gosh, those things are so fun. And when you cut these, you actually get, because I cut the mint macaron, I cut it double the size, and then I cut it in half. So that way then I had 2 of the little, I don't know, mountains or grass or whatever. And then these are the elements that came out of your paper pumpkin, and I just cut them apart is what I did. And I put them behind here, and I'm going to tip this so you guys can see. Can you guys see? Those are dimensionals along in there. I put dimensionals here basically from this little dip here to this little dip, everything here in the center. And then I put the seal plus on each end to seal it down. Well, I wanted it to be like it was a dimensional up, so that's why you're seeing the dimensionals down there. And then I took the twine that was from the kit and just tied a double bow. And then again, because I've been playing with the retreat stuff, because I've been trying to get everything all packaged up for the ladies for next week, we're using the silver and clear epoxy gems, or I think that's what they're called, silver and epoxy embellishments. Well, there, that one looks like it's a teardrop. It also can be a raindrop. And then I put the one circle there, and then I put the little diamond onto that one, so it looks like it's dew on the flower. And I did use the silver ones on this one, not the clear. Probably should have used the clear, but I just thought the silver ones just bumped it up. And then again, I used it as congratulations. Guys, there's weddings coming up, engagements are coming up, new babies, all kinds of stuff. Isn't this just so pretty? Or it could just simply be for somebody with a new job. So I feel a little piece of adhesive there on the back. So this was my absolute favorite. I know I liked all of them. Don't get me wrong. I liked all of the ones that I submitted to Stampin' Up. But this was my favorite because it showed you how you can change it up just a little tiny bit. So there are those. Then I'm going to show you the other ones. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside for right now. Then the other ones that I did, this one is 7. And you guys saw this on a Facebook Live a couple weeks ago. I shared this with you, how to make that, showing you how to extend a little bit of the paper so it didn't have to be the full 5 1/4 by 4 inches. It was actually 5 inches by 4 inches because sometimes that's all you have left when you've cut pieces and parts. And then here is that beautiful die from the Artistic Dies. I know, right? Oops, one got tipped back over. There we go. And then I did use a mix of the 2021 to 2023 in color jewels, as well as the 2020 to 2022 square gems. So I used both of those. And then here I did use the twine that came with it. And this is just, I moved this depending upon where I didn't want to color. I didn't want to cover up on the beautiful paper where there was kind of, I don't want to call it a dead spot, but just not as pretty of a spot. I wanted as much of the gold leafing to show on here. So there was that one. And then this card, guys, this one, you're going to laugh. This was exactly how the card was out of the kit. However, remember here on this one, I used some parts of it. Guys, I'm very, very good about this. I try to do everything out of just one kit. Yes, I buy extras, and I do have 2 extras left. This month, because I knew it was going to be so popular, I bought extras. I do have 2 left. My other ones have already sold, but I do have 2 left. If you are interested, please do reach out to me. I do have the full kit. But because those pieces were on, I had to change this up a little bit because I didn't have enough of all of it. So this one I think is the only one that had it exactly made like the kit was. And then the other pieces I just cut apart, just like how I had done here. And I just moved them around to position them behind. And then I did use the Happy Birthday from the Artistically Inked, which is the coordinating stamp set. So I did use those because birthday cards are always what sells out when I go to craft shows. So there is that. And don't you just love that vellum that's on there? Guys, if you want, we don't have that vellum. That is a specialty to this kit. But did you know you could take a plain piece of vellum and make it 4 inches by 5 1/4 and then just use any of the embossing folders onto it. You could do that with any of them. Now, yes, it makes it raised up. It's lumpy bumpy. It's not the dry, or it's not the white embossing powder type stuff. It's the raised image onto it, but you could do that. That's how you would make this your own. So this card, I like this card so much out of the kit. I did keep this exactly the same, but I did show my paper pumpkineers how to extend it, that you could use some of the pieces and parts on an alternate card design and still keep the design here for that. So I hope you guys like that one. All right, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I must be missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, oh no, I know where it is. Before I get to this, this was the 9th card. And guys, my cousin just became a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So I'm going to show you this because I wanted to show her how to do this. A lot of people who subscribe to Paper Pumpkin are new stampers. They're new. They don't have a lot of supplies, and that's okay. You'll eventually add on to the supplies. But what I did, and I did these on full-size cards, you could do this with the note card size. This right here was the card design here. They were note card size. For those of you who are my age or older, we always used to call them the RSVP size because when you went to a wedding, you received a smaller card on the inside, which was a note card, and you had to list Mr. and Mrs. Joe Schmuckatelli will be attending and you want chicken or fish, okay? And you put down that you had 3 people coming or whatever it was. Well, that's the note card size. Well, you guys know we sell note cards. They're either available in basic white or in very vanilla. Well, in this case, I would use basic white because that's the coordinating color on this. I again chose to make this full size, but you could do this with the basic white note cards. I just cut the card bases, this Evening Evergreen, I just literally went whoosh and cut those directly in half. So if you're doing this on the note card, the basic white note card, you would just put that directly on top of. And then the green that went over top of it, I just cut those in half. I went whoosh and cut those in half and put that onto here. This was the die cut that was part of it. This is the Evening Evergreen Chevron woven ribbon. Guys, this is so pretty. And this frays beautifully. I can't wait to tie bows and then have frayed images or frayed ends onto it. This is actually what we are using for the July Coffee Club class, because it's going to be a Christmas in July, and you can start signing up for that one on July 15th. But you're getting a half a roll of this paper in addition to that 6x6 Christmas paper that's in the big catalog. Again, you can watch for that. That'll be available on the 15th. But this right here, these are the die cuts that were part of the kit. And all I did was cut those out. And let me see if I can... Well, this one. Can you guys see? This one has the big loopy flower onto it, and then I wanted a little leaf, and this one has like the rose flower, and I wanted the leaves onto that. So that's how I cut it, and I just used my snips and cut it straight across. Well, what I did on these, because again, if you're going to make note cards, you might as well. And then I used the bling that came out of the kit, as well as the Artistry Blooms sequence, because those are already have adhesive on the back. So this was the 9th design. They're all similar, but they're slightly different. So there was one. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And then I changed it up a little bit. See how I just stamped happy birthday down here instead of using these, because I only had a finite number of them. So can you see those are all exactly the same design? And then on this one, I changed it up a little bit. This one I colored the back of it using the Fresh Freesia and the Soft Succulents blends. I used the darks on those. And again, I just stamped the Sending Hugs down here. There's this one here, and instead of putting the vellum up onto the top, I put the vellum onto the bottom, and what I did was I stamped that beautiful stamp up here with the Sending Hugs. And on this one I did use the rhinestones instead. Let me bring those up so you can see I used rhinestones, and I put 3 of them right there in the center. And then the last card was this one, and I did it as the landscape versus the portrait view. So here's landscape, and I did the exact same thing that I did here, but I did it in all 4 corners, and then I covered this piece up, and then again I used the bling. So that was the 9th card design, but I showed them how to extend it because you got 3 of those note cards with it. So again, by cutting them in half, you could make 6 full-size cards with those. So there, that was the 9th one. And then the 10th one was this. If you watch Sunday evening's Facebook Live, you also saw me do that Pick 6 Wonder. Now, guys, I made 2 sets of those, so we're coming back to this, but I'm showing you all the alternates first. These were the Pick 6 Wonder, and you can go back and watch Sunday's Facebook Live. And, guys, I do also share that on YouTube. So there was card 1, card 2, and card 3 of those using the Pick 6 Wonder. 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you can see I'm still using a couple of those, but I also used the tailored tag punch and did that. And then there was 8, 9, and 10. And then these were the extra little strips here that made card 11, card 12, card 13, and card 14. Those were the 14 cards that I showed you how to do for that Pick 6 Wonder. And guys, I made a second set of them because I just like them so much. I know. Yeah, this is actually going to be my thank you card this month. So, and then see on here how you use the Artistry Blooms sequence. See how pretty that looks there with that pale papaya? I know. Look at how pretty. And each one of them is just slightly different because it depends on how you choose to flip your paper design over. And I loved how they showed us how to do those hearts. And if you're questioning how to do that, just make sure you flip back over and watch Sunday evening's Facebook Live. If you are not part of my email list, if you text the word Latte Joy, all one word, Latte Joy, to 22828, you can be added to my email list and be advised when I do different things. And then here, can you guys see I grabbed those thanks that were left over because I didn't choose to use those, and I put those on this card here. Okay, so that was all the alternates. Who would like to make a notebook, a notepad? Because you guys know I do craft shows. I've always done craft shows. Even before, way back when, I've always done craft shows. And my friend Kim, who's part of my team, Kim is like the craft show extraordinaire. And she has done a training actually for my team itself. And she always says, if I had a nickel for every time somebody came in and went, oh my gosh, that's so cute, because that's what cute sells. Well, this is something that is cute, and it's also something you can give to a teacher, to a coworker. You can even give one of these to the bank teller, the cashier that might be having a tough time. How about the new mom in front of you in the line at the grocery store that might be struggling? Here's just something little. You are amazing. I love this. Well, how this works, and I'm going to show you how to make it, but this next one's going to be a little bit different. This little flap here tucks behind here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's self-closing. See how it goes behind like that? And then I did stamp here on the inside. And then this little flap here, just so at the top, when it's sealed, it looks pretty. Look at how nice that is, right? Okay, so this notepad happens to be 3 inches by 5 inches. And guys, I buy notebooks when I can get them on sale, and I buy them at all different places. So please just check out your office supply stores, check out your discount stores, check out even at the grocery store. So you can see this one is 3 inches by 5 inches, and I believe it's close to, it's like 5/8 inches. It's not quite a 1/2 inch in height, but that was how I used this one. Well, heads up, I couldn't find those here in my stash because, again, I have a huge stash of things for craft shows. And this will then go underneath this piece here, and I am going to show you how to do that as well. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your notepad. And in this case, guys, this notepad's a little different. This one is actually 3.5 inches by 5 inches. So guys, you can see this is much wider. It's about a 1/2 inch wider. It's still the same height, so that works out. So I saved this last card to show you how to make it. But before I do, I'm going to show you my sample, because when you're going to be doing anything like this, you always want to use your old cardstock to fiddle with to make sure that you've got it that way. And I lost a piece. There it is. Okay, so this is your card base here. So it actually goes together like this and down here like this. So this is your card base that originally looks this size right here. So see, I'm just going to set that over top of. That's the card base, okay? So this is your front, your pretty side. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut a 1/2 inch off, just whoosh, straight down. So your 1/2 inch comes off. Then this piece right here, you're going to cut another 1/2 inch off, but you're cutting it off on the long side. So you go whoosh and take that 1/2 inch off. These two pieces do not throw away. You are going to be using them. So what you have left here, because you took a 1/2 inch off, this is now 8 inches by, and you took a 1/2 inch off here, by 5 inches. So 8 inches wide by 5 inches. Then you're going to take your Simply Scored. You can use your trimmer if you prefer. I prefer the Simply Scored. And what you're going to do, again, the pretty side is going to be here. And I'm going to show you this, but this is how I'm going to show you with the practice one first. I use the large nub on this so that it doesn't go through as fast. I'm going to score at 3/4 inch and 1 inch. Now there's already a mark here at the 4 1/4. We're not going to touch that, but we're going to go just to the right of it and do 4 1/2 and 4 3/4. And that's it. Okay, so to do the real live thing. You ready for this? We're going to take this and you're going to cut a 1/2 inch off here first. So again, pretty side is right here. Line it up here at the 1/2 inch point. Whoosh. That 1/2 inch point is going to stay right here, and do not throw this away. You will need that. Then you're going to take this and flip it and make it that a 1/2 inch comes off here. So now we're at 5 inches. So you're just going to take this, whoosh, and you've got this piece here for your 1/2 inch as well. That's it for the trimmer. So we're setting that aside. Then grabbing back your Simply Scored again, setting that in here. See, the exact same size. You are now going to score at, oh, there it is. I set it out, didn't leave it in the thing. Grab your big end here at 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch. Now this right here is at 4 1/4. We're not going to worry about that. You're going to move over here to 4 1/2 and 4 3/4. That's it. Those are the pieces. 3/4, 1 inch, 4 1/4, 4 3/4. That's all. And guys, this is changed based on whatever size notebook you have. So if you have a different size notebook that is bigger than 1/4 inch in height, 3 1/2 inches wide by 5 inches in length, these dimensions will not work. You have to alter it to your specific notepad. So that's why, you know, every time I do these, I do them up a little different. Okay, so here are my score marks. I'm just going to go through and score those. Now remember, I don't want to do that last one there, so I'm going to start here and then do that one. Okay, so here's this one. There's that. Come in here. And then over here on this side, we're doing the front 2, because remember, I don't want to use the score mark that is the card base on this one. For the original one that I did, because that one was only 3 inches by 5 inches, that one I did use that score mark. Okay, so see, it looks like this. And it will go in like that. That's how it looks. Isn't that so cool that it goes in just like that? Now on the back, you'll have a very small piece, because remember, that's the 4 1/4 piece. The 4 1/4 mark there, that's okay. It's the back of it, and it just makes it look kind of cool. All right. So here on this one, first thing you're going to do, because we have these pieces here. I think I will use, let me play with this for a minute, because what you're going to do is you're going to put 2 of these pieces down here on this. One will go down here on the bottom and one will go up here on the top. Well, do you see how this one's got the pink and this one's got the purple? Yep, there we go, pink and purple, whereas this one's all purple. What I may do instead is just put all the purple up here on the top and the purple down here on that one. Yeah, let's do that, shall we? Okay, so this is, I believe, 2 1/2 inches. And I kind of went ahead. I'll come back to where you get this from. This piece of shimmery white is 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches. That's what that is. So I need this to be 2 1/2 inches, and I need this one to be 2 1/2 inches, which should give me 3 inches, which will be too short for that. And this one will be too short. So that's not going to be an option. All right, because I know I need 3 1/2 inches. Well, this one just became the 3 1/2 inches. Okay. Because your notebook is 3 1/2 inches in width, you're going to take this and I'm going to make it 3 1/2 inches. I'm actually going to make it just a smidge over. I can trim it. And remember, this is the piece that was attached to the fresh freesia. So this is like the bottom of your card base there. So on this piece here, and I'm just going to take this, and because I know it's a 1/2 inch, I am just going to put a little tiny, and I got to move it here so you can see, just a little teeny tiny piece right there. And it's basically 1/8 is what you're going to use, is just 1/8 of that. Because this is where you're going to, and this one's kind of hard to fiddle with. Let me bring this back down here. You just want a little tiny piece so that it can go onto the back of the notepad. Okay, there's that. And how this works is it will go on the back here like that. See how that's going to go back behind that? And see, you've got an extra little flap here on the top. You're just going to fold that down. Just gently. And then you're just going to gently do it with your fingers. You don't want to score it because each notepad, again, has variances and might be a little bit off. Okay, there we go. So when it goes into the thing, it will look like this, and that way then you have a nice covered edge onto it, and then we will trim it once it's glued onto it. So for your glue, because you're only doing that little teeny tiny piece there, for your glue, you can use either the tear and tape, you can use your dark blue, the Seal Plus, or you can use the green glue. In this case, because it's small, I'm just going to use the green glue. And I would have suggested that you had your silicone mat, but I did not bring mine right here, so there is that. Okay, can you see how I just did that little tiny bead right there on that little teeny tiny piece? And what I'm going to do is just kind of fold this up here. And I will tell you it's going to be easier to line it up if you have one of these sides lined up. And then just hold that down. If you have clamps, you might want to use that. Let me grab a couple of those. I always leave these binder clips nearby because those help out tremendously. Just do it so that your binder clip will hold there. Let me grab a third one. Okay, so while the rest of it's getting done, that will be drying. See how that's on there? So we're going to let that dry for right now. Those will come off, but I wanted it to seal well. So, okay. Now for the stamping. There are 2 extra pieces that you need because this is what it will look like. So I chose Blackberry Bliss to go on top of it and the shimmery white, which is exactly what I did here for this piece. And I'll show you how to all assemble that. So with this one right here, because I know I'm going to have to put a part of it up here on the top and a part of it down here on the bottom. Whereas, see, because this was a smaller one, I actually had a wider piece, so I put I put the whole piece down here. With this case, we're actually going to do it separately. So let's grab our blocks and our stamp. There it is. So we're going to use the blob first. And then we're going to do the You Are Amazing is the second one. Because, you know, you're giving this to somebody and you want them to know that you think they are absolutely amazing, right? Okay, the first thing we're going to grab is our fresh freesia. Let me move those out of the way here. And it's going to go onto this. Now, this is where you're going to have fun lining up. Because, oh, there's a piece of paper in there. Let me move that piece of paper off. You know, if you ever get something like that onto your stamp, take it off because it won't allow it to stamp evenly. Okay, so this is going to go up here, and then the one will go down here on the bottom. So this will fit here into the middle. So let's just go ahead and put those on. Just a little teeny tiny bit on. Just enough to hold it. There we go. And we'll come back and trim these off and put more glue on it afterwards, but this way then I can see about where it's going to go. So there's one. and trim. And then the second one will go down here. And again, just gently, I just put a little dollop onto it. You could use a glue dot, just something to hold your place. And see, then that is off there. There we go. That's all that's left of that beautiful paper. So this will fit here into the center of it. So I'm going to use my fresh freesia. Oops. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Sorry. Let's try that again. I need the flower, not the blob. I guess you could use the blob, and that way then it would give another color onto it. That would look kind of pretty, I'll bet. On this case, I do want the pink up on the top, and I want the purple on the bottom. So I'm inking up my flower, and I am going to have to bring this down because I can't see it evenly on here. So sorry if you get my noggin in there. There's the flower, and you did this so that way then it was centered, so you know about where it's all going onto that. Then I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss. Oh, that looks a little dry. Let me grab my old one. I will be re-inking that one later. You want Blackberry Bliss, and do the You Are Amazing. And then you're just going to eyeball that and put that here in the center. And again, hopefully you don't get my head in this too badly. There's the You Are Amazing. Look at how pretty that is. Yay! Okay. So we're all done with that. Then what I'm going to do is gently peel this up because I didn't put hardly any adhesive onto it. And I will remember that this dark purple is up on the top. So flip that over. And now I'll use a good amount of adhesive onto this to hold it down. So remember my dark purple is up here on the top. And when you do it this way, you want to be real careful because your ink is wet. There's that one. And then we're going to do the same thing down here. And this one, I do like the splotch over there. So I know, isn't this part fascinating? But wait until you see how it all comes together. This is where it's really fun. And again, if you're one of my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, you already have the PDF tutorial. If you're part of my team gets it as well. Okay, how this works is this will go directly onto here. But I'm going to show you how this piece goes on, just simply to make it so much easier. Okay, this should be close to being dry. While that's on there, I am going to go ahead and take my snips and go ahead and trim this piece off. There. See, I just took that little teeny tiny piece off. Okay. So there are those. So what you're going to do first, oh, I wanted to stamp on the inside too. Let me grab hold of my freesia again. And just like this one, see how I stamped a little bit there on the inside? We'll do the exact same thing. A little bit up here. And the piece down there. That way then you have plenty of room to write a little note in there if you would like, or not. It's up to you. Totally up to you. Okay, so here is the front. Now guys, this is not glued down because as people peel off their piece, the notepad will get smaller and smaller, so that way then it stays on there. I prefer the tear and tape, so I'm going to use tear and tape. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to go along the back of here. And then I'm going to do the bottom. And I do overkill because, again, I have had things fall apart because originally I was taught Oh yeah, you don't use that much adhesive. No, use the adhesive, please. For the love of God, use your adhesive. Please, 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 please use your adhesive. So it goes along like this. And then I put one in the middle. And then I put one on each of those there. I do think that is more than sufficient. Even if I was trying to save on adhesive, I might not put 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might only do 4 onto it. That's up to you. Okay, then how we do this is you just peel that up, peel this piece up. If you have your take your pick tool, that's way easier. I didn't grab that, so we have just this piece here. And you do this part first before you start adhering to the front, because you need the width of this notepad in there so you know how it's going to close. You have to do that part. So each one is slightly different. There we go. Okay, so you can see I've got all the pieces and parts here. All I'm going to do is now just go along and remove each one of those. And this is such a fun thing. These are great for teachers or for kids. When Joshua was little, and I mean little, like, you know, still called me mommy little, we used to make different notebooks or buy different notebooks, and we just used spiral bound notebooks at that time. And he would just draw. He wouldn't draw anything. It would be like, here's a little color of blue, a little color of green, here you go, mommy, that type of thing. This is fun for even that kind of stuff. Okay. So it's going to go in here like this, like that, and this is going on the inside of it. So you just kind of have to be careful of how you're putting it in, and I am going to need a little bit extra light on this. Oops. Let me move this light here. It's going to blind you for a minute, guys. Hold on. There we go, because I just need the light to see. I'm going to put that there and here. And again, hope you're not getting my noggin into it. So you're setting it in there, lining it up here onto the top. And I got it a little bit off. So I'm going to try to push and see that it stays. If it doesn't, it is where it's at. So there, and then this goes over top of it like that. Okay, there. Whew, sorry, just could not see that without the light there. So when you look at it this way, you can see this on the top. And as the pages start coming out, this will just continue to fold over onto it. Okay, so now, okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the ribbon, because you want the ribbon on there first. Let me make sure I do this right. Yeah, now I can do the ribbon last. We'll do the ribbon last. Okay, these two pieces here. This is how it's going to go, and this is how it will seal up. This piece will be here onto here, and this will tuck underneath. That's how this goes. When you do this, because normally you've seen me do, I would put one in each corner, one in the center, and set it down. Well, if I do that, now I've adhered to here and this little purple flap, and now it won't open. I need it to open. So I'm going to eyeball it here. And this is why you need your notepad on the inside, so you know how much room you have. Grab your dimensionals. Any of the dimensionals will work, or you can use the foam adhesive strips, whatever you want. So I know on this side over here, I'm going to go ahead and put my 3 on this side, because that's going to go over here. And then I'm going to put 3 kind of in the middle, like how I always do. 1, 2, 3. But this piece here, because I don't want it to attach to here, I'm going to eyeball it here and just kind of move it back and go and kind of squeeze this as tight as it possibly can. And I'm going to go 1 right here. 1 right here. And still holding this here because I want to know where my pieces goes. Actually, I'm going to put 4 on here. 1 there and 1 here. Okay, can you see where those 4 are right there? That is so it's the exact height of this, so it doesn't go beyond. I don't want the adhesive dot to show beyond that. And this will go here. All right, so peel those off. And then peel these off. So are you guys enjoying this month's paper pumpkin kit? I just love this month's paper pumpkin kit. Can't wait until next month's one. And you guys know Saturday's the last day to sign up for the July paper pumpkin. This is the June paper pumpkin. Okay, so now here I'm holding it kind of closed. And I want it to be even on this side and even on this side here. So I'm going to go right about there. So see how that tucks behind that? And then when you get ready, you just kind of pull this piece up and it just slides right behind it. That's how it will seal. I know, so cute, right? All right, then this piece, all you do is put it onto there. Now guys, I will tell you, you don't want to put any bling onto this. I guess you could if you know that the person is going to leave this sitting on their desk. But if it's going into a purse or into the car that's going to be used, I don't put any bling on mine. And there, you can see I put a bunch of adhesive on that because I don't want this to fall off. So eyeball that to go right about there. Ta-da! Okay, then the last piece that you're going to use is your ribbon. Now I chose the coordinating ribbon, which is the fresh freesia, to go along with it. And I forget how long I said. Let's see. Approximately 18 to 20 inches of fresh freesia ribbon. So you can measure out 18 to 20 inches. I'm kind of old school. I like to do off of the ribbon itself. So what I do is I just go here and just kind of go, okay, right about here. Well, that's going to be too long. That tail's way too long. So just pull it back a little. Go about there. See if this is enough room. Because you want to have enough room that they can continue to retie the bow. Because the bow also is just an added piece. Yep, see right there's good. Grab my snips. There's that. And that's how I tie bows. You guys can do it any way you want. If you'd rather measure it out, like I said, about 18 to 20 inches. And let's see how long this ended up being. All right, there is 15. Oh, this is a little bit, oh, because it was 3.5 inches. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is about 22 inches because remember this notebook is longer and wider than this one was. I'm sorry, was wider than this one was. So let me tie this one back. So this was the original one. Okay, so here on this, I want it to go about here. Yes, I know it's going to cover up the "You Are Amazing." That's okay. If it does bother you and you want it to go down below or on top of, you can adjust your bow anywhere that you want. So let's just do it that way. Tie your bow, because you know every time they untie the bow, it will become untied. It will come off of the book. And see that way then? Can you see I just retied that funny? So this piece needs to come towards me a little bit more. See, I shouldn't have untied it. Should have just left it where it was and then just done that. Yep. This is how you learn, right? There we go. Okay, so see now both of the tails are about the same length. That's where I want it. I'm okay with it being up top. I'm actually okay with it being right there in the center. If you wanted, you could have strung it underneath here. To me, that's not worth it. I just do it here on the top. So I'm just going to bring that up a little bit so they can still see that I think that they are amazing. So it'll just be up here on the top. Then you take this and you flip this over. And my goodness. That got very tangled. Okay, you want it to lay straight here in the back. There we go. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. Your bow, your knot on your bow is right here. Can you see that it's just on this side of the fold? So then you're going to take this and flip it over, and I'm just going to move it down just a wee bit. Grab hold of my tear and tape and just put a small strip right there. Make sure it's pressed down really well. Oh, thank you, Miss Joyce. It's so good to see you on here, sweetheart. I do this every year for craft shows, and when we have pretty cards like this, I try to make a pretty box out of it or a pretty something, and then see, you're just going to slide that up, and if it catches, you just pull it up a little bit and then press down. Now, the ribbon helps cover up the adhesive, and because it's clear, nobody can see it. And now when I take it and I untie it, the ribbon stays on, so that way then it's all okay. And I can leave a note for my friend. They've got whatever they want onto it. And then this just goes right back underneath. Whoops. Right back underneath. And like I said, guys, at the very beginning of the video here, your notebook dimensions will be different depending on the size of your notebook. That's the easiest way to tell you it. There is just not, I wish all notebooks were the same size, but they're not. So buy a package of them. If you're going to make these as a gift for somebody, buy a package of them so that then they all look exactly the same. See, these two are exactly the same, but the notepads are a little different. One's much thicker, one's thinner, one's wider, one's skinnier. So you have to alter your design for each one of them. Oh, and that got tucked underneath. Let's fix that. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I like it being that way. So that is the last item that they did for the alternates. So again, guys, if any of you are interested in joining my team does get the PDF tutorials. They do have to ask for them because I don't want to clog up their email list, because it's quite an extensive PDF tutorial. I mean, it's several pages long. But that way then my team can have it. They can then use it in their business, and they can use it for their customers as well. If you are interested in becoming a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I always recommend the prepaid, guys. That to me is the best deal, is the prepaid. And I also always recommend a 3-month. That way then you can try it out for 3 months and see how you like it. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to blank out for a second and move it this way so that there, now you can see me again. So guys, if you're interested in joining, I would love to have you as part of my team. My team is wonderful. I have a wonderful group of ladies. We are all over. We've got one lady up in Alaska. We have 3 ladies down in Florida, 1 in Kansas, and then the bulk of them are here in Central Ohio. Most of them were my customers before they became part of my team. So I enjoy them as customers. I also enjoy them greatly as my team members. That's the wonderful thing, because as a team member, they get to craft with me every single month. I do a monthly team meeting. They get things like this for the Paper Pumpkin alternates that then they can use for their customers. It just makes it easy. My team has grown. I have some wonderful ladies on my team now that are so positive and just, they're true Titus women. They're just wonderful. So if you're thinking about joining, I would absolutely love to have you. If you look right here, the host code is right there, but underneath that in the white is my website, which is dawnstock.stampinup.net. If you click on that, that will take you to my website, and you can see some of my projects are on there. It's literally labeled My Projects. Click on that. Or there's about joining, and you can read about that. There are events, and you can read about that. Or you can also shop there. That's the easiest one too. Just click on Shop Now. Just make sure you write down this host code number, and that way then you get whatever this month's special is for you. So PDF tutorial is available for this Paper Pumpkin using these on here. Now, the PDF tutorial has the skinny one because that's the one that I did it with. I just did this one differently to show you how to do the a different notepad onto it. So it'll just depend on what kind of notepad you have for your dimensions. But you saw in both of them, they were both exactly 5 inches in width. So right there, yep. So it's all there. And guys, I love Paper Pumpkin. if you ever don't know what to buy a 3-month Paper Pumpkin subscription. It's just the easiest way around that. So let me see if there's any comments on here, and then I will let you go because I'm meeting my mom and my aunt for lunch today. Oh, goodness. It looks like there's quite a few of you that were watching. Hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my friend Zilka is watching. Oh, hello, Miss Zilka. My friend Joyce. Joyce always is so sweet. Oh, hello, Miss Nancy. Joyce, love your amazing. I love you, Miss Joyce. I love you. So, guys, I hope you guys had a great time. If you did enjoy this and you know somebody else that's already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and that they also like to make alternate ideas, or they just like to make like this, the 3D ideas, feel free to share this video with them. It's basically a free class, guys. I do this every Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. I just happened to bump on today because I wanted to show you the notepad and how to make that, as well as all of the alternates. Last night was Stampin'Up's Facebook Live, and I wanted to wait until they were done before I shared mine. So, guys, I hope you have a wonderful time. There is still time to sign up for Paper Pumpkin. You have until Saturday to sign up for Paper Pumpkin. This next one, it's called something with adventure. All I can think of is the movie Up. Adventure is out there. Does anybody remember? That's one of my favorite movies. But there's that. Then on the 15th, the Christmas Coffee Club will begin, and that you sign up for between the 15th through about the 25th. I might extend it to the 30th. And you will have that for a Christmas card class using that new punch, the Christmas tree punch, I forget, the Evergreen punch, and the coordinating stamp set. And then you're getting a package of the paper, a half a roll ribbon, and some embellishments with it. You're on your own for your stamps and your inks. You do use your own stuff onto it, but you can add on that stamp set and the punch if you would like. And then finally, the retreat is next week on Saturday. It's on the 17th. Guys, the in-person has sold out. That is no longer available. If you do want the to-go, it is a $65 order, or excuse me, the retreat to go is $65 for the entire goodie bag, for the package, for all the PDFs, the videos, everything like that. And then it's an additional $15 for shipping. So it is $80. You would provide your own stamps and inks and adhesives, but everything else is included into it. All the cardstock is all cut, everything like that. And I did have a couple of extra frames onto that. So I will have a few left over. Those will be available. Just let me know if you want it, and I can send you the link for those. So, guys, have a great night. Don't forget about the Designer Series paper sale that's going on right now, that extra 15%. Those Pick 6 Wonders that I showed on Sunday night for the Facebook Live, that would be perfect for those for those new Designer Series papers that are on sale. I mean, I love that Stampin' Up! Did that for us. The one that I used, that artistically inked, or the Expressions in Ink specialty paper, that's not included in it, but it coordinated with this one's Paper Pumpkin, so I wanted to use it for that. It's still beautiful paper regardless, so any of the papers look beautiful. As my team leader had told me one time, she said, and she said it to a group, so it wasn't specifically addressed to me, but it spoke to me. Your Designer Series paper looks way prettier on any card that you send out versus it staying on your shelf. So, guys, bless other people with it. We will talk with you later. Have a great night. We'll see you then. Bye-bye now.